Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everybody. I'm your host, Marissa, and it's just me tonight. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody had a very good weekend. I had a very good weekend myself. The weather was beautiful. I've been pretty busy, haven't been home a lot, but hey, it's a good thing. It's spring. Why sit at home, right? But yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope everybody's hanging in there. And thanks for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Dystro has the night off. He's got some stuff going on right now. He was supposed to be at an event, but I guess some stuff happened. But I'm still here, doing my thing, doing my solo episode for tonight. This is gonna be great because I have been wanting to do this series for 2 months now, and I, stupidly enough, didn't put this on the calendar until May. So here we are. It is now May 7th, and we are finally starting this series up. I'm gonna try to make this a monthly thing. I'm not 100% sure yet. Yes, Music Madness with me, Marissa. So I think for this episode, I'm just gonna start with the basics. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background knowledge about my music taste, what I grew up listening to over the years, concerts I've been to, some of my most memorable moments at concerts, what I remember from my childhood from being at concerts. Just the basics and stuff like that. So, yeah, but in the future, in the long run, I'm going to be doing episodes for Music Madness where I talk about music that I have stumbled across in the last several months, several weeks, heck, even the last few years. So that's just a little bit of a spoiler alert for what is to come for this series. I hope you guys tag along. And if you're tagging along for this episode, thank you. I hope you enjoy. So, where to begin? Let's start here. I was kind of born into a so-called, like, rock-fueled family, I guess we could call it. Both my parents listened to rock when I was growing up. They grew up around that kind of stuff. My dad was more for, like, AC/DC, oh god, Rainbow, like, all, like, the big groups from back in the day. But his biggest forte was mainly AC/DC. Hence, kind of why I'm into AC/DC today. And then my mom, she's, like, into, like, the Bon Jovi, the Def Leppard, like, that kind of stuff, like, that era of music. But, like, she also listens to pop as well, and I guess now she listens to country. I, myself, am not a country fan at all. I really do not like country. I don't really like pop either, minus one or two groups or artists. Justin Timberlake being one of them. I got a story to tell about that later. So, all in all, I kind of was really growing up around the rock music side of the spectrum. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that I was in that spectrum because I feel like nowadays, in modern music, rock's kind of getting the shove aside, so to speak. I feel like now that we're into like the 2020s and even in the 2010s, pop was huge. Like pop and hip hop were like growing. Like it had a big freaking boom with a whole bunch of different subgenres of pop and hip hop and rap and all that stuff. I feel like rock kind of got the shove aside. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that I'm one of those few left that really have grown to appreciate rock music from past to present. Like, for real. Like, so when I was a kid, I remember hearing lots of AC/DC on the radio and on CDs that my parents had not only bought but also made themselves from like LimeWire, MP3 Rocket. I think we used MP3 Rocket, if y'all remember those days. The virus giving site. My parents used to burn their own CDs, and we used to do it on MP3 Rocket, and I remember AC/DC being on a lot of them. I remember hearing Rainbow for the first time as well. Extreme was another group. Van Halen, oh my god, I love Van Halen. Obviously some Def Leppard. Poison I've heard. And just like pretty much almost any 80s artist or group, or even 70s, any 70s or 80s artist or group you can think of, I've heard it. Just because that's what my parents were into back in the day and still are up to this day. But, man, I think one group that really caught my attention at a very young age was Def Leppard. And if you guys remember me talking about this with Dice Show in previous episodes, you guys know how big of an impact Def Leppard has on my life. Def Leppard was that group that group for me as a kid, and I got into them at a very young age, around the age of 9. I'm gonna assume, like, I'm gonna like guesstimate on a lot of this. Like, I'm thinking I was around 9 years old when I got into Def Leppard. Um, I think my parents kind of took on that I was really getting into them. I think they kind of started to notice because I was asking for them to play a lot of their stuff, and I'd always get excited to hear it on the radio and stuff. Because as a kid, I grew up listening to radio. Yes, I'm talking FM radio, local stations. You guys should know this by now. I still listen to radio every single day. Like, there's not a day that goes by where I don't listen to the radio. It's the home of music. It's where music gets shared. This is before Spotify and all this streaming bullshit came out. So, anyways, yeah, Def Leppard I really, really took a liking to at a young age. I don't know what it is. Like, they just have that sound that's so unique. It's like how AC/DC has their sound, and like how Rainbow has their sound, Black Sabbath has their sound. Like, they have their specific sound, and I guess it really just had me hooked at a young age. I don't know what it was. I remember freaking 9-year-old little me had a crush on the lead singer back in the day, and now me as a 20 going on 21-year-old, it's even worse. My obsession with him is like skyrocketed. But anyways, yeah, I had the my parents got me a poster for Christmas one year of Def Leppard from their Hysteria era stuff, which was like 87, 88. I have that poster still. I just came across it, I think, a month ago, and I have it. I'm so happy I found it. I'd been looking for it for a while, and I finally freaking stumbled upon it. I'm like, oh my god, I found my Def Leppard poster. Childhood me can die happy now. I had my first Def Leppard shirt. I had, A, I don't think it fits me anymore, and B, I don't have it in my possession right now. I'm actually gonna look up and see, I don't know if I can even find the shirt that I had. Like, I'm trying to find it right now. Damn. So, the shirt I had, it looks like it was from, like, the Yeah era, which was, like, '06, which is a little odd, because I got this shirt when I was 9, meaning that was, like, maybe 2011. That's what I'm thinking. Again, this is just a guesstimate of how old I was. I know I was a very young age. But yeah, I had a Def Leppard shirt, my first one, I should say, because I've got more now. That one is, I think, at my mom's, but it don't fit me anymore, I don't think, so. And I have Def Leppard CDs. To my right of me, in my room, I have Pyromania, which was one of my first albums I got ever. I have Hysteria and Adrenalize, which, okay, a little quick story about Adrenalize here. I had Adrenalize, and I'm going to say had because I did have another copy of it. However, I don't know what happened to it. It's not here. I don't know if it's at my mother's. And it bothered me so much to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to replace it. I'm going to reorder it. I'm going to get it. And with that, I ended up getting Hysteria too, because I never had Hysteria on CD. My dad has it on a cassette tape, if that tells you anything. That is old school shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna reorder Adrenalize. I might as well get Hysteria too. Like, kill two birds with one stone. And I finally got them. I got them on Friday, this past Friday. And the thing is, Adrenalize has a very, very special spot in my heart, which I will get to after I go over the rest of my CDs I have for Def Leppard. I have the Vault album from 95. This was my parents' CD. It's kind of like a greatest hits album with, I think, one exclusive track for that particular album, which is cool as hell. I have the Rock of Ages Definitive Collection, which is a 2-disc set. That, too, is one of my first CDs I got. It has a whole bunch of their hits from a variety of different albums, even including Slang, which is crazy to think about because I hated Slang. But yeah, very, very solid album. I'm glad I have that. I also have the Mirrorball set, which is a 3-disc set. It came out in, I think, 2011. But disc 3 has some music videos from the songs from the Sparkle Lounge era, which was in '08, which is pretty cool. But the first 2 discs, I believe it's all live stuff from like their tour for songs from the Sparkle Lounge, which that's cool. I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm kind of talking about it blind here. But I do have that, and I just recently bought Diamond Star Halos as well at a Walmart store about an hour away from me. So I'm very happy I got that, considering I just listened to that album with my partner, Dice Joe. We just listened to it this past Thursday. Very, very good album. Um, it gets not good, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like over the top good. It's solid. Like, it was a pretty solid album considering, like, you know, this band is still together and they've been together since like the 80s, like early 80s, late 70s. So, considering it's 2022 and they're still together and they're still going at the age that they're at, that's pretty impressive, that album. So I'm glad to say I have it. Okay, so back to Adrenalize. Adrenalize is a very, very special album for me in more ways than one. Not only are all the songs good on it, like every song is a banger, there is no skips in that. This was actually my first Def Leppard album outside of the Rock of Ages Definitive Collection. This is my first studio album that I got of Def Leppard. Yes, I remember this. Both this album and Pyromania I got for Easter one year, like 2 separate years actually. I got them. Like I got Adrenalize one year, I got Pyromania the other year, and then the Rock of Ages disc I got for Christmas. That same one of those same years. So Adrenalize was my first studio album I got by them, and it's my first album that I played in full. And it has that special spot in my heart. Not only, like I said, it's a very, very good album, it's so fucking good. And I don't care what anybody says, that album is amazing. I've seen so much hate on the subreddit for Def Leppard. It's like, really, guys? This album's pretty fucking good, considering they just lost Steve. Yeah, I love it. It has a very special spot in my heart. I'm so glad I have it back in my possession, because I decided to replace it. But yeah, so continuing the Def Leppard train up to 2012. I was 10 years old. Well, actually, I was just turning 10, actually. This was like Christmas of 2011 going into 2012. My parents surprised me with Def Leppard tickets. Let me fucking tell you, like, 9-year-old going on 10-year-old me was so excited. So, that's next year in 2012, they're doing the Rock of Ages tour, which that is awesome. I believe it was with Lita Ford, who I'm not crazy for, don't really care for her, and Poison. And obviously Def Leppard being the headline act. And I love Poison. Poison, man, I feel like I haven't talked about them enough on this show. When I went to the concert, it was August 20th, 2012. I remember that concert being so good. I remember the opening act, you know, it was Lita Ford, don't care. Poison was the next opening act. Oh my god, the colors. Like, it was a freaking color fest. Like, it was so colorful. And Bret Michaels looks so good for his age. Like, you couldn't even tell that he's his age right now. I'm actually gonna look it up right now. I've been meaning to look this up. So, Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels is 60 right now. Tell me he does not look 60. He really doesn't. He looks so good. But yeah, that Poison part of the concert was very colorful, very awesome. They played a lot of the good songs that I knew, and then Def Leppard came out, and oh man, like, it was big. This concert was big. We had to travel, I think, 3 hours to get there. It was in Saratoga Springs, which is downstate from us, and my god, like, Def Leppard rocked. I loved it. They did a whole bunch of hits and stuff. I think I found a set list for that concert. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up again. And I would do anything to go back to this, to be honest. Okay, I think I found it. I did. So they played one of their new songs too, Undefeated, which I have to listen to that. I don't remember it. But they played a whole bunch of the hits. Make Love Like a Man from Adrenalize, Love Bites, Gods of War from Hysteria. Then they had this part in the show where they all sat in the center of the stage. And it was like a big square part of the stage. They sat on the square platform. And they did a whole acoustic set of, like, Where Does Love Go When It Dies from Slang. They did Now from X. They did When Love and Hate Collide, which is from the Vault album that I was just talking about. Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad, which is from Adrenalize, and they did Two Steps Behind, which is a retroactive exclusive. So that is fucking crazy. What the hell? Why do I want to hear this? Like, I wonder if I could find the audio somewhere. Like, if someone can help me out, um, like I said, the concert I went to, Rock of Ages Tour 2012. It was August 20th, 2012, Saratoga Springs, in New York. If someone can help me find the audio to at least the acoustic set, I will love you forever. Like, please help me out. Help a girl out. I want to relive my memories. And then they went back to the hits, the regular concert. Pour Some Sugar on Me was the final show. The show ending, the show ending track, I should say. However, they were supposed to do an encore. Encore was supposed to be Rock of Ages. However, they did no encore. And the next morning, Joe Elliott from Def Leppard had posted a statement on Facebook explaining what happened. He was feeling under the weather. He had picked up a bad cough 2 days prior in Boston when they played in Boston, and he was struggling to sing. So, unfortunately, they could not do an encore, which sucks. Which just makes me want to go to another concert just to hear an encore. It might happen. But yeah, so that concert was my favorite concert of all time, and it really just brought it all together. Like, my love for Def Leppard was just brought all together. But before I continue, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to different groups. So, my local county fair in my hometown, they usually, back in the day I should say, they brought solid rock groups to the fair. I have seen Cheap Trick, I've seen Loverboy, I believe I've seen Bad Company as well, and I've seen, I I don't remember if I went to Night Ranger or not. Night Ranger came to our fair. They did not have a good turnout, meaning the crowd was not big. Not a lot of tickets sold. I don't remember if I went to that one, but I do know I went to the three I'd mentioned, and out of those three, Loverboy was my most memorable one. My parents told me that I was fucking standing on the wall down by the grandstands. You're not supposed to stand on the wall. They let me do it. And I was fucking dancing to Loverboy. My god, like, I don't remember any of that. I don't know if that's weird. I don't remember any of that at all whatsoever, but I guess that happened. I guess that really explains how much I really was into music at such a young age. Especially all these classic 80 groups, like Loverboy is from the 80s, and they're Canadian, by the way. So, I like Loverboy. I don't listen to him as much anymore, but when I do hear him on the radio, I do turn it up a little bit. Cheap Trick, too, same thing. Love Cheap Trick, one of my favorites. I don't really listen to them as much anymore, but once again, I'll hear their stuff on the radio, and I'll turn that up. Bad Company, I never really got into. I guess my parents just dragged me along for that concert. As terrible as that sounds. No, I love Bad Company. I didn't really get into them, though. I know their hits. That's about it. My parents have a hit CD of them, so that's about it for them. Other than that, I've been to a couple country concerts because, again, I was dragged to them. Went to Randy Travis. Man, they sold out. Like, he sold the fair out. Like, the crowd was huge. Like, it set a record. I went to that. I was standing on my feet for 3 hours. I went to Vince Gill the following year. Stood on my feet for 3 hours. Yeah, little kid me did not like that so much. I think that is actually my last concert, Vince Gill, which is crazy to say. Because our fair doesn't really bring good people around anymore. Like, I'm not into country. I'm really not. Like, bring back some rock groups, man. Like, I will totally go to a rock concert. So that kind of wraps up the concert section of this episode. Obviously, my favorite being Def Leppard. Like, that is my number one favorite forever. That is, like, the best concert I've ever been to. That is the real deal. So, back to Def Leppard for just a little second here. After 2012, everything kind of became a blur for me, like, music-wise. I don't think I listened to a lot of music in 2013, but once 2014 hit, I kind of got into music a little bit more, again, because I discovered another group at this time, completely opposite spectrum from Def Leppard, you know, being from the 80s. This was more of like a modern-day group, too, at this time, even though they started in the 2000s. And I'm talking about Fall Out Boy. Oh, man. Fall Out Boy was, like, my second, like, biggest obsession of all time, next to Def Leppard. I found them in 2014. I was kind of going through a rough time in my life. I found them in that summer, and I was like looking through like WWE pay-per-view themes from like previous years, and I guess one of their songs was the pay-per-view theme for Battlegrounds, I believe, in 2013. I remember the poster had a picture of Ryback on it. That's how I remember. And it was The Mighty Fall, which featured Big Sean, and that was from their latest album at the time, Save Rock and Roll. They just come back from a hiatus because they took a little bit of a hiatus for a few years. Because some of them were going through some shit. Some of the members were going through some shit at the time. But they came back, put out a new album, and it was huge. And that's kind of around the time I found them. It was about a year after they released that album. And it just happened so quickly. Like, I got into The Mighty Fall. That was my first song. And then I started just, like, Googling more and more songs. I was, like, getting really, really into them. Like, hardcore. No, I did not go to any concert of them yet. I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. They're going on tour with Bring Me the Horizon this year coming up, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I had a Instagram fan page for them because I was really into Patrick Stump, who's the lead singer. Can you guys see a pattern here? um, and I actually share a birthday with Pete Wentz. He was born on June 5th, so I was like, cool. Spirit animal. But oh god, I feel like I'm in 2014 right now talking like this. But yeah, I really loved Fall Out Boy. They got me through some really tough times. I still listen to them up to this day. Not as much as I used to back in the day. Almost 10 years ago we're talking. But yeah, I still listen to them, as you guys know, because we just reviewed, or excuse me, broke down the latest album they did, So Much for Stardust, which just dropped in March. Very, very solid album, by the way. So as you can tell, I still do listen to them, and I keep up with their stuff all the time. I just wish I could go back to the old days sometimes and just revisit when I first found these groups so I can appreciate it more. Because like when you're a kid, you take shit for granted, and like when you're an adult, you like look back on that and you see that and you realize that it's like, damn, why did I take those moments for granted? Like, I would have loved to have been at the Def Leppard concert now as a 20-year-old. Like, I feel like I would have like remembered it a little bit more. But yeah. Now at Fall Out Boy, I have a Mania shirt. I have Mania, the album, and I have So Much for Stardust. I purchased it at Walmart, literally an hour away from me. I bought it the same day I got Diamond Star Halos. They were literally right next to each other. So I was like, ooh, a double kill for my wallet. Yeah, so all in all, I feel like the two big groups for me as a kid growing up were Def Leppard and Fall Out Boy. Yeah, sure, along the way I've stumbled across other groups that I kind of got into, but like wasn't over the top obsessed with them. Like, I remember in like, I think it was like, oh god, I'm trying to think now. Might have been middle school going into high school. I found I Prevail through my cousin, and I found Issues through my cousin. Which I still listen to Issues, even though the lead singer is a piece of shit, and I'm glad they got rid of him. But I still listen to their old stuff just because it brings back memories. And I Prevail, I don't really listen to as much anymore. I found them through the Blank Space cover they did. I feel like everybody found them through that at this point. Yeah, so, and I also found Blink my sophomore year of high school. I was not super obsessed with them at this time. I didn't get really obsessed with them until this year, when me and Daisho did the pilgrimage earlier this year in January. That's when I really, really got into them and realized how good they are. But yeah, like I said, my main two groups were Def Leppard and Fall Out Boy. I don't know if I could count AC/DC because I loved AC/DC as a kid. And like now that I'm older, like me and Daisho did the pilgrimage last year in October all the way to December. So I feel like now that we did that, I can appreciate it more than I did as a child. Because like as a child, I didn't remember a lot of the songs I heard that we had heard on the pilgrimage. So I don't know if I could count them as one of those big artists for me as a kid. Maybe nowadays, yeah, they're like a big artist for me. But as a kid, I don't really know. But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other groups that I could mention while I'm on the air with you guys. like I said, really, Def Leppard was the big, big one for me. And I still find it so fascinating how, like, 12 years later, I'm here talking to you guys about Def Leppard. Like, when I was literally just finding them 12 years ago. Like, it's just, like, mind baffling that I'm still into Def Leppard. Like I said, sure, I kind of drifted from them for a little bit, but my love for them never went away. Like, ever. Like, it came back harder and stronger when me and Deisha started the pilgrimage in March. It came back harder and stronger, and I don't want it to end. Like, it's. I was just talking about this in the last episode. I'm going to freaking cry when we finish our Def Leppard pilgrimage. We literally have 2 weeks left. This week coming up, and next week. That's it. And then we're done. And we're moving on to Foo Fighters. And it's like, I don't want it to end. Like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. This group has really shaped the way my music taste is. They have the biggest impact on my music taste today. Bigger than Billy Talent, because I just found them in 2020. Bigger than AC/DC. Bigger than Fall Out Boy. Like, this group is what really shaped my core for my music taste. And, like, I feel like my whole personality sometimes revolves around them, which, it's a little weird sometimes, but yeah, like, on my spare time, I'll go watch interviews that they did long time ago. I'll go watch funny moments that they've had. Like, it's just that kind of thing. Like, this group really has had me in a chokehold for the last month, but it also had me in a chokehold when I was a kid, so I feel like a deja vu moment is here. Like, I feel like it's just another chokehold, and I don't want to let go. I don't want it to let go. I'm having the time of my life listening to all these freaking songs that I've either never heard before, or I haven't heard them in a very long time. It's like a flashback from the past, but, like, now I can enjoy them more because I know what they mean now, and, like, I can just enjoy it more because it sounds better on the technology we have today. Like, these earbuds that I have that I use for music, they are freaking amazing, and they make your music sound so crisp, and it's like, I don't want this to end. But that's going to conclude Music Madness episode 1 with me. So you guys basically just got a rundown of the basics, my background behind my music taste, and why it's shaped the way it is today. I hope you guys enjoyed. What are your go-to bands? What were your go-to bands as a kid? Let me know down in the comments below. Even if you're still a kid, let me know what your bands are. Like, you know, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Like I said, I feel like there's not enough rock fans out there anymore. I just feel like pop's kind of taking over, which sucks, but hey, sometimes good things have to come to an end. So, speaking of Def Leppard, this Thursday, me and Daisha's coming back. Don't worry, he's not gone forever. I didn't kick him out. He just has tonight off. This Thursday, me and Daisha are breaking down Def Leppard's 1983 album Pyromania. This album actually just turned 40 this year. Back in January 20th, 1983, this album was released to the public. And it just turned 40, so I think it's the perfect time to break it down. Track by track, we will talk about each meaning and rank each track on a scale from 1 to 10. After that, we will rank the album as a whole on a scale from, like, 1 to 100. I think this one's going to set records, to be honest. I thought freaking our last breakdown episode set records. Oh no, this one's going to set a record. For me, anyways. And you guys just wait till Adrenalize comes. Like, when we do the breakdown for Adrenalize, I feel like that one's going to be even worse. But, yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing that, be sure to tune in this Thursday. It is going to be a banger. And, of course, I have Song of the Night tonight. That's fitting, because it is my episode tonight. What do I want to go with? I guess we could go with the Def Leppard song, because I have literally been talking about them all night. Because, like I said, they've had the biggest impact on my life. I'm gonna go with Make Love Like a Man from the Adrenalize album, because I heard that one earlier today, and it's just a goofy freaking song, and the music video is funny as hell. I'm gonna give you guys the music video. It's really funny. It's good. It matches the vibe of the album very well. So, yeah, Make Love Like a Man, Def Leppard. That is tonight's Song of the Night. If you guys want to take a listen to it, click on the top right hand corner of this episode. There will be a link that'll pop up to the music video. Go ahead and take a listen and laugh about the freaking music video because it is funny as hell. So, if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to follow us on social media by clicking on the link in the description below. It'll take you to our link tree. We have Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok. Be sure to follow us there to keep up to date with the podcast in case something goes wrong and we cannot upload. And be sure to go follow me on TikTok as well on my personal account. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so I can go live with you guys, do album reviews, live reactions to song requests you guys give me that you guys want me to hear. Go follow me. I'd love to go live with you guys and just hang out when I'm not doing the pod. And maybe you guys can get some behind the scenes of the pod too if you guys decide to follow me there. Maybe I'll do some behind the scenes moments, how we create our magic on the show. So go follow me there and subscribe to my good old pal Dice Show on YouTube. He's currently at 727 subscribers at this time of recording. He uploads weekly gaming content. I'm in there too, and I'm definitely going to be in there hopefully this week because we are playing GTA 5 tomorrow. And I'm so excited because I literally just finished downloading the game last week, and we're going to finally play it together. So there's going to be a lot of funny content. So go subscribe to him. Get him to 800 subscribers. He's doing very well. He also posts some Gang B stuff that we've done in the past. He does 2K23. We've done Forza stuff as well. We've done Skate 3. We've done literally almost every game under the sun. Even Roblox. Like, he's posted Roblox gaming clips too. So go subscribe to him. Show him some love. Share his content around. Once again, be sure to listen to tonight's song on the Make Love Like a Man by Def Leppard. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace.